Today on Dr. Phil, he takes on chaos in the classroom.
Nolan, all right, tell me what the answer to 2 plus 2 is.
77.
No, but we're going to keep working on that. All right, how about you tell me the answer to 3 plus 8?
100.
All right, well, I need you focused and paying attention up here, not playing on your switch, not laying back in your seat. So Nolan, sit up and let's do one more problem here. All right, tell me what 6 plus 3 is.
67.
Nope, I think we might need to take a trip to the office. Do we need to head that way? Because you're not focused and paying attention and doing what you're supposed to?
Nah, take me outside. How about that?
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dr. Phil Show. Today, you saw on the video clip, we're dealing with chaos in the classroom. And you saw a lot of disrespect and just poor behavior in that last video clip. And we're going to deal with it today. We're going to take it head on, and we're going to take care of this problem. Okay? All right, everybody. Thank you. I would just like to say, let me have a seat here. I'd like to welcome my guests today. From the video that we saw this is Mrs. Rodgers right here. She's the math teacher. And we have, this is Nolan Barnett. And Nolan is, let's just start with you. How do you do in school? You get good grades?
No, I'm always getting F's.
So tell me this. Why do you get such bad grades?
Well, I don't get.
Whoa! Just stop it right there, okay? We're gonna talk straight here today, okay? When I watch that video, you're not paying attention. You got your switch out. Your teacher's trying to teach you, and you're doing nothing. It's like my granddaddy said: you can lead a horse to water, but if that horse has had some pancakes and syrup, it's not gonna drink. So, is something funny?
No.
Let's talk to Mrs. Rodgers here. Mrs. Rodgers, tell me what you think about this young man.
Well, he doesn't do a whole lot of paying attention and learning. He does a lot of doing his own thing and playing video games, and it's just very distracting to him.
You're being disrespectful to your teacher. Do you hear what she's saying?
Yes.
Okay? I'm not one to mess with this kind of stuff. When you come on my show, you come on the Dr. Phil show, you listen to Dr. Phil. So anyway, I got an idea here. My producers and I, we are going to pay for you for 1 week to fly to Cowan, Indiana. And we're going to put you up in the finest hotel in Cowan, Indiana. And wine and dine you, you're going to have nice meals. But you're going to go to Mr. Rodgers, the greatest teacher there is, and he's going to teach you about math. Is this something you would like to do?
Yeah.
I need to know that you're really going to do it, because I just can't have you saying it. It's like my granddaddy used to say about flies. If you put the fruit out and the flies come and they're watching TV, then they're not going to pay. It's not going to work. All right, so I need to know that you're really going to do this.
Yes.
All right, then that's what we're going to do. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Today's Monday, and we have a new student in class from the Dr. Phil Show. This is, would you like to tell everyone your name?
Nolan.
Hey, good. Nolan's here to learn. He's been struggling with math. We think he's going to do a good job. Thanks for coming today, Nolan. I saw you brought a dog with you. We normally don't allow dogs in school, but who is this?
This is my dog, Ellie.
Oh, that was nice. All right, so please make sure you're paying attention, okay? All right, so today we're dealing with ratios, and all week long we're going to deal with ratios. So remember, all that a ratio is when two totally different types of numbers, two totally different labels like miles and hours are being compared. You're seeing how they go together. So let's take a look at this problem. So maybe I'm riding my bike, and it says I rode 12 miles in 3 hours. How far did I ride in 9 hours? This is a ratio because we're comparing how do these things go together? What relationship do they have? And it's two totally different things. Notice we have miles and hours. And this is a review lesson, so if you'll remember, we like to write our ratios as fractions. And so I like to get my fraction bar there, and I go ahead and label. I know that I'm dealing with miles and hours. I'm going to put HRS, okay? So, normally in the first sentence or two, we get our first ratio, our first relationship. How are you doing with this, Nolan? You understanding? Mm-hmm. All right, good. So notice I go 12 miles in 3 hours. So here's my miles. So I have 12 miles in 3 hours. That's the relationship, the ratio that goes together. So my question is, how far did I ride in 9 hours? So I'm not multiplying by 9. I'm not dividing by 9. 9 hours becomes my new top or bottom of my ratio. And since I have it labeled, they have to stay together. If hours are on the bottom, hours stays on the bottom. If miles are on top, they stay on. So it becomes 9 hours. Then from here, it becomes multiplying or dividing. So I asked myself, 3 times what is 9? Did you say 3, Nolan? Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3 times 3 is 9. And our rule is with ratios, whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top, because we have to keep them equal. They're like equal fractions. So 12 times 3 is 36. We always want to put our labels. So I go 36 miles in 9 hours. So with ratios, we want to remember that first sentence or two will give us the first ratio that goes together. Notice 12 miles in 3 hours is in one sentence. It goes together. The next one, the next information stays with either the top or the bottom. Since hours are here, if you'll keep it labeled, it'll help you, okay? Mm-hmm. So then from there, it's always either multiplying or dividing because they're fractions, and to keep fractions or ratios equal, we have to either multiply or divide by the same number, and then we get it from there. So what do you think about this? Do you understand ratios really well?
Yep.
You understand to always make sure you pay attention to that first sentence or two. Those two numbers go together in one ratio. We always put our labels. Don't forget our labels. And then the same labels go on the next equal ratio, and then we decide what does it take to get to it. Okay? Yes. So what do you think about math now? You love it. That's awesome. Okay. Welcome back to Dr. Phil. As you can see, this is Nolan again. If you remember, he was the student who was very disrespectful. Didn't know math at all. Barely knew 0 plus 0. And I sent him to Mr. Rodgers in Cowan, Indiana for a couple weeks to kind of get him straightened out. Kind of a math camp. A math boot camp. But I don't know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, Nolan, so tell me, how are you with math now?
I'm pretty good. I'm one of the best probably in the class. You're
one of the best. Well, that's wonderful. How did you get so good? What made you good?
Mr. Rodgers was probably one of the best teachers, and he taught me really hard. And
that's great. All right, I'm going to do a little test and see how you do. So if I'm driving a car 35 miles per hour, how far will I drive that car? Because I heard you learned ratios, and ratios are important. So there's a little ratio problem. So if I drive a car 35 miles in 1 hour, how far will that car go in 5 hours?
175.
You got that with no work all in your head? I guess that Mr. Rodgers is a wonderful teacher. Well, I hope today on Dr. Phil everyone's learned that math is important. We need to listen to our math teachers and pay attention, and that ratios are super important. Anyway, I'd like to thank everybody, thank my guests, and take on the day.